Get it while it's hot. Today on Truck U, we turn our attention to this food truck. It's had a hard time getting from event to event, so we'll diagnose and fix some of the problems and give it a whole new look before we set it loose at the world's largest food truck rally. Bruno, can I get you something?
What is this?
Cuban sandwich, piece of catfish, red beans and rice, whatever.
Yeah, that all sounds good, but why is a food truck sitting right here? And why are you driving?
This is a food truck, and you always want something different, so here it is. I brought in something different, right? We've never had one of these.
It is different.
It is.
And it is bright.
Well, here's the deal. I travel all around the country doing these Trucks Gone Wild events, right? And I see food truck night everywhere. In my own town, food truck night, it's a big deal. It's like once a month, the whole town comes out. It's a big social thing. So I thought, what better than a food truck, especially since I know a family locally. This is their truck. They need a little help getting from event to event. So I thought, we've got the time, we've got the tools, we've got the shop. Why not give a little bit back, right?
You know, I'm all about giving back. Since you put it in that context, dude, I'm on board. I love to help somebody out. Time is money, brother.
All right, let me get these.
Hold on 1 second.
I'm not starting.
All right.
Kidding. Glow plugs.
Whenever you're ready, fire in the hole.
All right, 1 second. You ready?
Yep.
Let's do this. Check those battery terminals, man, because the connections were really loose.
All right. Try it again.
Aha! Oh, yeah, baby. Hey. Hey, I'm gonna try the steering. All right? You good? I'm gonna try the steering.
Ooh. Give it a turn. Smooth?
No.
You're fighting it, huh?
No, nothing smooth or easy or power about it.
And that leak on the ground, that clear fluid, that's power steering fluid. That's not going to be good. So we've definitely got an issue there because you can't parallel park this thing without power steering fluid, without power steering. All right, I say we start draining the coolant, and then we can start digging in.
Where's that big old pan? We need the biggest pan we got. When this truck rolled in, it did not look quite like this. I mean, it took a little while to get it to this point. See, this was a unique job. I had to call in a couple reinforcements because the truck's been around for a while. It had been baked out in the sun, so the vinyl graphics were faded and cracked. The paint was faded, and we had to address all those issues to get it ready. So the first thing we had to do was take the heat gun to some of the old vinyl, warm it up, peel it off. But then you still had some glue back there as well. And we wanted to sand this thing down to get it ready for painting. Now, you don't want to run the sandpaper over the glue because at that point you're just making gummy bears. And I'm not talking about the little delicious ones that we all know and love. So basically you hit that glue with the lacquer thinner and you get that out of the way. Then at that point we could sand down both sides and get it ready to paint. Then after that was done, we hit it up with some Duplicolor Paint Shop Yellow, and we've got this nice, good, basically a clean slate that we can work with now. Now, that brings us up to where we are, but I'm still calling in some more reinforcements as well. That's where my man Justin comes in. Justin, thanks, man. Thanks for being part of the team on this. He's from Redline Design, and basically, Justin's gonna handle the new vinyl that's going on the truck. So this is where we started, right? So where are we gonna go from here?
From here, we're going to take all the measurements that we've got and enter everything into the system and begin our new layout of this with the new logo, the new lettering, the fonts, a breakdown of some of the specialty items they sell, you know, the important ways to contact them, make sure everything's clean, visible, easy to see, easy to read.
All right, so let's go back to the other side, to the serving side. And that is what it used to look like.
Yep, what we have here is, looks like they added an awning on after they had put some of their information on there, and some important things like numbers are blocked. And, you know, right now it might be easy to read, but when you're driving down the road, no one will be able to catch that. And, you know, that's the important stuff, is the contact.
Okay, so we're gonna take that and go there. And that looks a lot nicer. It's cleaner.
Yep.
You don't need me for any of this?
Nope.
Right? I think you're going to be better off if I'm not helping you, right?
Awesome. Thank you.
So thanks again for being part of the team, man. We appreciate that.
Not a problem.
I'm out. We need to go to break, and when we come back, Bruno and I will be doing some more work on the front end.
This segment of Truck U is brought to you by CRC Industries, the makers of Brake Clean, the #1 brake part cleaner.
Welcome back to Truck U. Now we have got Justin working on the graphics, and that is rolling and coming along nicely. Bruno's been killing it up here in the front end. And Bruno, catch me up to speed on where you're at, because ideally, in a perfect world, what I'd like to do is help you in the same way that I'm helping Justin right now, right? That'd be perfect.
Well, first things first, you're not helping Justin, and it's a good thing you're not helping Justin, because I've seen the way you put on decals. They're either bubbly or they're crooked, so this way they're going to look good. And up here, man, I've been killing it. You know, I'll tell you something. This thing holds a ton of coolant, because when I popped it, it went everywhere, so be careful where you're stepping.
Thanks for the warning.
You know, in terms of under the hood, we have got a lot of stuff out of the way. You know, got that first bracket out, we drained the fluid, and check out these hoses, man. These things were awful. They're split literally all the way around inside the hose, so what's happening is the coolant was actually spraying through the inside of the hose. I'm talking in itself right there. And if you look over here on the radiator, you can see evidence of that. The clamp was the only thing that's not rusted out, because that's what was sealing it, and it was spraying on either side of it. So obviously we had some serious leaks going on with this thing.
All right.
But I've got everything loose. I think we're close to be able to pop out the radiator.
All right. This one was almost loose. There you go.
I mean, this thing was leaking a lot.
You know, did I mention the fact that he told me he was adding a gallon of coolant and a quart of power steering fluid every week?
No, you seem to have left it out.
I forgot that.
That's rather significant. It would have been nice if you would have said that when you talked about analyzing stuff from the top.
My bad.
Oh, yeah, let's take a look at this thing.
Time for a visual inspection.
Well, I think this has definitely seen better days, man. There are rust spots and corrosion everywhere. I mean, look at this tank. It's awful.
All right, so this will be the first thing on the parts list, first of many, right?
Yeah.
We're going to get with the guys at rockauto.com, and they're going to hook us up, man, because we're going to have a long list by the end of this project.
Yeah, especially when we start getting to this power steering stuff.
Maybe a shroud, you know?
That wouldn't hurt either.
The rusted out piece on the bottom. So we want to go ahead and dive into the steering system right here. So the first thing I'm going to look at is the belt, and you look at that. That belt is really loose. Now, there's a lot of leaks down here and a lot of things going on, and I think a lot of fluids have sprayed up on this belt and this pulley too, because I can just spin this pulley freely with no problem. So a lot of times, you know, guys might just tighten the belt and think that that's going to solve the problem, but that would not fix it here, because that slides way too easily. Now let's take a look from the top down at the issues. This is a Hydro Boost system. So what it does is, this is the Hydro Boost system up here. It uses the strength created by the power steering pump, which not only powers the steering box, but it also adds a mechanical advantage to the braking system. It's a popular thing to run in a bigger truck like this, and these larger ones that are kind of harder to stop. So what happens is, we take a look at this, and there is crud and just fluid and oil and everything all over down here. So we know that we've got some leaking right there in the power steering pump and in the steering box as well. We also know that they're leaking because just as the truck is sitting here, not even running, there is a little pool being formed on the ground right below here. So what we're going to do is go ahead and get with the guys at rockauto.com and just add these to our list as well. So we'll put a new steering box on there, new power steering pump, and we will just replace everything while we're down here and while we can get at it, because coming up off the Hydro Boost, these lines are nice and clean. So the leak's not up here. In fact, it looks like these might have been swapped out here not too long ago. So I think all of our problems are right down there. Ooh, look at that.
Got it?
Yeah. There we go. Here, you want this thing? There you go. Oh, there we go, dude.
I got that, buddy.
You got it, dude?
Yeah,
All right.
I see it.
Whoa.
All right. So this old steering box is out, and man, this thing must have been leaking like a sieve. You can see it's all, you know, all the remnants sitting up here on the box, and it looks like just the seal shot there, and the same thing here. So this is pretty much junk. And talk about things that are junk and gone bad, is this radiator cap, man. If you look at it, it is no longer sealing at all. It's all splintered and frayed. We'll have to get a new one of these. You did order one, right?
Yes, I did.
Nice.
It's right there, man. Just got the shipment from rockauto.com in, and I got some new parts, man. We got the steering pump. We got the steering box right here. Take a look at this. All the hoses and everything.
You know, it looks so much better when it's not all full of grease and grime, right?
Yeah, it does. It does. Oh, and the radiator's over there. It just wouldn't fit on the table. So we got everything we need.
All right. It's a good time for us to take a break. I'm going to go chase down that radiator. We can get back to work.
Yeah, it's right around the corner.
All right. Got it.
This segment of Truck U is brought to you by Woodward Fab. Quality metalworking equipment since 1966.
Hey, welcome back. Everything's coming along nicely on the food truck. Justin, I wanted to check in with you and make sure everything's going good. How are we doing?
Everything's awesome.
Good, man. It looks so much better already. So much better than it did when it rolled in. You remember the faded paint, the faded graphics. The graphics were a little outdated. They've been on there a while, and you're not even done yet, and it looks this much better. I'm excited about this process. Now, I've spoken to a couple guys that do what you do, and I appreciate it because you guys all make it look easy. But a couple different application methods were discussed, you know, versus like wet and dry. So tell me what the difference is between those two.
Everybody has a method to their madness on what they like to do as far as application-wise. I prefer dry. I think it's quicker, it's in and out faster, and the customer can leave versus if you do it wet, you got to wait for it to dry, and it just takes more time.
So that's the dry.
That's
right?
the dry method.
All right, that's not moving.
Nope, we're done. It's on here. It's not coming off.
All right.
Next method is wet. A little bit of soapy water in a spray bottle. Wet the area, and it's not permanent at this point. You still have time if I just need to get it over here a little bit more.
You got a little window.
Yeah,
right?
we can slide it over a little bit more.
Somebody's yelling at you, or the phone rings, or something like that.
Yep.
Hey, is this one of those things that kind of like what we do, where if I ask 10 different guys how to do it, I could get 10 different answers, and if it differs from any answer to the other guy's a moron and he doesn't know what he's doing, right?
Pretty much.
Perfect. All right, we're in the same world. Speaking of that, I need to go check with Bruno, see how he's doing. All right?
Awesome.
Keep up the good work, man.
Thank you.
Before we can put the new parts in place, we have to dress them properly. In this case, with the power steering pump, we have to get the old pulley off the old unit as well as the mounting bracket. And that's where things can get a little bit difficult. And the reason why is if you look at the new one, you can see that there is no keyway. What keeps this pulley anchored to the shaft of the pump is strictly pressure. And there's a lot of pressure to keep that moving as one unit. The problem is when you go to take it off, it's really hard to do because there's so much pressure. It's such a tight fit. So what you have to do is use the proper tool. Now, if you use a typical puller, what you're going to do is you'll grab on the outside and you'll actually bend up the pulley and it'll shatter. So what you've got to do is, if you don't have one, which most of us don't, is go down to your local auto parts store and rent a power steering pump pulley puller, and that's exactly what we did. Now, it's not going to come off nice and easy. You're kidding yourself if you think it is. So make sure that you set it up straight and take your time, and if you're lucky, it'll come off in the first hit. You might have to finagle it a little bit.
That new steering box looks good, dude. That is in there.
Nice.
Yeah, it is. Now, you've been knocking out this whole pulley deal. How's the reinstall going?
Well, it's actually going pretty good. We got it started. It's nice and square, and the whole key is to use the right tool like we did removing it. You want to use the right one putting it on. I actually even remembered to put the mounting bracket on, so
that
that's
helps.
key.
Good, good.
One of the problems people run into is they use the wrong tool or they don't use one at all, and they try and use this grade 5 bolt. Thing is, this thing is so soft, what happens is it snaps off like it did on the old one, and then you got a bunch of problems. So the whole key is to make sure you go nice and slow, make sure you got it square, and every once in a while, as you're cranking it down, stop and check to make sure it's staying square. Otherwise, it'll get cocked and you'll jam the whole thing up, and you're going to ruin that whole pulley.
All right, here's the deal. Yvette is here, right? She's in the
cool.
next room. So I need to introduce you to her, and then we need to bring her out here for the big reveal.
I'm down,
So,
man.
how
I'm
much longer
excited.
you got?
I'm almost there, I think.
All right, well, step it up, dude. I'm excited, too. I want to see the reaction. That's what it's all about, right?
Yep.
All right. I think we passed all the dangerous spots.
Yeah,
You ready for this?
Yes.
Don't
Smooth
open your
sailing.
eyes yet. Don't open them up yet.
Hold on.
And, all right. There you go.
Oh my God!
Hey!
It looks awesome.
You like it?
Looks awesome. Amazing.
It does
Amazing
look
job.
great, doesn't it?
I think it turned out
love
really
it.
good. Hopefully he
Yes.
didn't mislead you and tell you there are going to be 22s and spinners and disco lights. That's not what it's all about. This is the family business, and I think this is a big improvement.
Yes, it is. I love it. It's amazing. I love the angel wings. Oh my God. Just everything is amazing. The even cartoon character.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Yvette, we know there's a story with the angel wings. What is the background on that?
Yes, my grandmother was a chef in her earlier days, and all of our soups, sandwiches, most of our menu items are inspired by her. Nice. So, of course, she's not with us anymore, so we always have her as our guardian angel.
Very cool.
So that was very, very nice that you
Right
guys
above
were
the
able
door.
to accommodate that on our truck.
So how did you guys get started in this whole business?
Yes, we started this a few years back. My mom actually, she was a dental assistant for many years, her whole life. And her elbow ended up having surgery on it, and the surgery went bad. So that ended her career. So, and also that same year, my dad was a truck driver and he was laid off. They came across someone that offered them this truck and said, you know, I need to get out of town. You guys run with it, do what you got to do. I'm selling it at an awesome deal. They took it, ran with it, and it's been a family event, fun truck business forever. We love it. We love it.
So you took a really bad year with some terrible things happening, right?
Yes,
And you guys just stayed strong and turned it all around, and now you're doing something that you love doing.
Yes.
That is great.
That's really
That
cool.
is
We love
awesome.
it.
Really cool. So hopefully you like the look of it so far, yes?
Yes, we
All
do.
right.
Oh my
Now-
God, it's amazing.
Nice, nice. So we're heading down the right path.
Yes, we are.
All right, we got to
Yes,
keep going
awesome.
down that path. That's the thing is, so we need you to go out so we can get back to work.
Okay.
Can you
All
believe
right.
he's kicking you out already?
But we want to get this done for your event this weekend.
All right,
All right, so Matt's
awesome.
going to escort you out. I'm going to get to
Yes,
work.
get to work.
Thanks
Bruno,
for
I'll be
coming in.
back tomorrow.
All
You
right,
handle
all
your
right,
business.
yeah.
All right.
This segment of Truck U is brought to you by Seatbelt Solutions, the safest seatbelt money can buy.
As we step away from the food truck for a couple of minutes, we can come over here and take a look at this kind of a big selection of mirrors. Now, these are all for Chevy trucks. You can get these from Brothers Trucks, and these particular mirrors are all ranging from 1947 up to 1987.
As you can see, they pretty much have a side mirror to fit any vehicle or any budget. Now take these 47 through 69 side mirror kits right here. What you get in the kit is something that's going to bolt right to your factory holes. You get the 2 mounting arms, you get the 2 side mirrors, and it's all the factory hardware. Now, one of the new things you have got for the side mirrors coming out is the fact that you've got the integration of LEDs built into, so you've got your turn signals built into the mirror. You've got them these little ones down here, but Matt's got one firing down there, and the whole idea is keep people who are in your blind spot, let them know that you're coming over, which is a safety thing for everybody.
Absolutely. With these mirrors from Brothers Trucks, you can upgrade the look of your vehicle and keep it as safe as possible all at the same time. When you're upgrading the braking system, one of the most important parts that you can upgrade are the brake lines, like these stainless steel brake lines that we got from Crown Performance.
Now these things are pressure rated to 4,500 pounds, which is way more than you would ever put to it with your foot on the pedal. So they meet or exceed all DOT specs. The nice thing about these, you're going to get increased stopping performance.
Yeah, it's fun to look at side by side. So here's your regular one, right? 2 layers. Over here, you've got this 5-layer design, and you've got stainless steel in there, and you've got Kevlar in there. I mean, this thing is strong, single piece fitting, the whole deal. It's just better.
Yeah, and you've got 9 different colors it comes in, all different sizes, and you can get them custom ordered and custom length cut to your application.
This thing weighs nothing.
Yeah, it's all aluminum, man. I mean, I would have put it in by myself, but I didn't want to ding up the fins on it on a brand new radiator.
Okay, I understand that.
You know, it's going to keep this thing running a lot cooler as well. It's a much more efficient design than the one from 30 years ago. The fact that we're going to have new lines to it, it won't be leaking a gallon of coolant on the ground every week. This truck is going to run nice and cool.
You know, but it is an older truck, and we know that potentially down the road something else could break, right? So what if the guy says to himself, where was it that those guys got all those parts from? What was the name of the company?
Yeah, that one place they got everything to fix this truck.
If I could just remember where those guys got those
Like we
parts.
could leave him a little mental note somewhere.
Maybe something to remind him.
A little rockauto.com reminder, a gift from us to them.
Mechanically, we've got everything done up there on the front of the truck. And Yvette came in here, she loved the way that it looked, and
Yeah,
how
she
could
was
she
happy.
not? This looks a lot better,
Yeah.
right? Now, we also talked to her about one thing she was really happy about is the fact that it's running so much better, because about a month ago, we poured in the Stiction Eliminator from Hot Shot Secret. And it's like she said, it's idling better, starting easier, and running smoother. Now, we've got some more products from Hot Shot Secret. This is the Tune-Up Trio.
Yeah, we got the oil side covered. Now it's time to hit the fuel side. We're going to do that with Diesel Extreme. And, you know, it's similar in the way it works. It goes in there and really gives it a thorough scrubbing of the entire fuel system. So what you want to do is make sure that this thing is full of fuel, because the Diesel Extreme is extremely concentrated. You got to make sure you got a full tank when you pour this in. And what it'll do is get in those injectors, clean it out, the fuel lines, the fuel tank, all that stuff. So this thing will run good for a long time.
Now, we talk about stiction and friction being problems because it's all about the wear and tear on the internal components of the engine, right? Now, this is the friction reducer, and it's kind of like the new branch of the family tree from Hot Shot Secret, and you can add this into the oil or the transmission. So for this particular truck, we're going to add that into the transmission. But you think about it like this. Think about the molecules of fluid. They're about this big, right? If you put that for a visual. Now, the molecules of this are about the size of a marble, so it can sneak in and get to places and cool areas that the ordinary molecules of coolant can't. So that's going to help everything just be a lot more lubricated and run a lot cooler.
Now, the other thing, I don't think she even knows about the new set of Arturo tires we got for this thing, man. She's going to be stoked there. You know, this thing came in, it was pretty raggy. You know, it looked bad, it ran bad. And look at it now, man. I mean, it really has come to life. We've got a new wrap on it, all the branding, all the logos look good, and more importantly, it runs good. Now we just got to get it to her.
Yeah, we've got to get those tires on, get this thing ready to go so that they can make that rally on time.
Yeah, cool.
Let's do it. Let's help them make some money.
Wow!
If you know of a kind of food, it's here at the rally. It is the world's largest food truck rally ever. 32,000 people last year, hopefully more than that this year. It's just, that's what it is, it's the biggest, man. One of the diesel trucks I know was King's Bistro, and their entire house, everything they had, all their possessions, period, had burnt to the ground a couple years earlier. And I mean, they're really great people. They know what it's like to have a lot and then lose it, and they've been working their butt off ever since. So I mean, people like that deserve it. They deserve rewards sometimes. Instead of always getting stepped on in life, some people deserve a reward.
When I came in and I saw those guys stuck, and it just gave me that flashback of memory of not knowing if you're gonna make it, if you're not gonna make it, if the truck's gonna break down, is it gonna turn on when you leave the event? You just don't know, you know? But I don't have, because I don't have that pressure no more. The truck turns on without waiting for the glove plug to come on, right?
The tires aren't hand-me-down used tires, or I don't think I have that new of tires on my truck. The engine works perfect. I mean, they're not having to get jumps, they're not having transmissions break, they're not dumping fluid everywhere. So I mean, it's a cool truck, man. I love the new logo. It's bright, this stands out well. Now they can get to work every day and put money in their pockets and take care of their families. I mean, I'm stoked for them, it's awesome.